Good morning. Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you, Comrade. I'm also excited to the fact that you're a lawyer. So we saw your statements. You released your statement, and I wish I could get to part of that statement, maybe later. But you gave your own account of exactly what played out. If I summarize that statement, you were basically saying this lady was triggered. At no point did she refuse. But I'm not going to speak for you. You were on that flight. So tell us, where were you seated, your seat number, where was she seated, and what exactly happened that things escalated to the point? Because what you're going to tell us now is what none of us is... so none of us is privy to what you're about to tell us now. We've only had a statement from IbomAir, and now a lawyer who was not in that plane but briefed by Comfort has spoken, but you are an eyewitness. So, Barrister, tell us what played out.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I'm a lawyer, but I'm appearing this morning, and I'd like to just stick to that. Now, I was sitting to her immediate left. So I was on the aisle seat to the left. She was on the aisle seat to the right. So my seat number was 14B. There was a gentleman to my left who was on 14A. So her own seat number should be either 14C or D. I think the window seat is 14D, while she was 14C on the aisle. So we're right next to each other, and it was a small plane. So I think the distance between us was no more than 2 feet. Yeah, so I heard everything. I saw all that transpired. And yes, she was triggered. Even though the lady, the air hostess, the second air hostess who was speaking to her, was directing all her instructions to her, just me sitting down there, I actually felt humiliated myself, just looking at the way the lady was being spoken to. To be fair, IbomAir instructed very clearly. The first air hostess that came instructed very clearly, no airplane mode, switch off your phone. After takeoff, then you can put on and put flight mode. So it was very clear. The first air hostess addressed us on the emergency exit road protocols. After she did that, she spoke to Miss Emerson and said, please switch off your phone. She told her twice, and then this first air hostess left to continue her duties. The second air hostess, who is the one blocking exactly who is being shown now, that second air hostess now came towards us in the emergency exit and stood, even from her posture, see that she came for trouble. You know, and Miss Emerson had been fiddling with her phone. I noticed she was trying to do some stuff, I don't know. And so she told her again, switch off your phone, switch off your phone. And Miss Emerson said clearly to her, I heard it. She said, please, the buttons on my phone for switch off are not working. They are not working, so I don't know how to switch it off. And the woman said, no, switch off your phone. So that back and forth went on. So at a point, that's the second air hostess said, look, you're even using an iPhone. So you don't need a button to switch it off. So the lady said, okay, I don't know how to do it. Can you do it for me? And she said, I'm not touching your phone. I'm not touching your phone. Just switch it off. She said, I don't know what to do. So the lady now said, okay, go to settings. And when you go to settings, go to general. So the girl was holding and said, see, please, I can't understand what you're saying. I can't read. I don't know what you're saying. You're saying where I should go to. The woman, the second air hostess now told her, I don't have time for your nonsense. Please just switch it off. She said, I don't, okay. Mr. Martin now asked, can you spell the general? So the air hostess started actually saying G, okay, G, then E. So that was the point that the gentleman on my left and I said, come on, what's going on? You know, calm, don't speak to her like this. Let's, you know, the second air hostess did not even acknowledge her. She didn't even to my side to even see that someone was speaking. So at that point, I asked the gentleman to her right. I said, please, can you just help this lady? You know, I don't use an iPhone. I've never used an iPhone, so I'm not too familiar with settings and all of that. So the gentleman to her right now took the phone and started trying to sort it out. So when that was going on, Miss Emerson started talking to the second air hostess. I said, why are you embarrassing her like this? Why? I mean, why are you? And then the air hostess told her, you better keep quiet now. If you say another word, I will deal with you. That was when Miss Emerson flared up and started cursing. I cannot say the things that she was actually saying because the language was very flowery and X-rated, I can't say. So that was when this second air hostess said, okay, you will see. And then she left and went towards the front of the airplane. She never came back. At least I don't recollect her coming back through the aisle throughout the flight. So that is exactly what transpired. So after that happened, the gentleman to the right switched off the phone or whatever it was he did. And a couple of passengers tried to say, switch off your phone, don't risk our lives, blah, blah, blah. And then we told them, no, that's not what happened. She never said she wasn't going to switch off her phone. She was trying to switch off her phone. She said she had issues switching it off. And so the passengers calmed down and we took off. So that is what happened. But it was clear, at least to us on the emergency exit row, it was clear that there was a problem here. She needed to be handled very well. Because this lady kept simmering throughout the flight. She was cursing. I could hear her because I was right next to her. She was really upset. She felt as if these people are just against me. And why? She said she bought this ticket with her own money. So why should they treat her like this? That's what she was saying, and that's what I'm hearing. And I can't tell you what the other thing she was saying because they were really nasty. But she wasn't directing to anyone, but she was just talking. So it was clear that she was angry. And the second air hostess, the aggressor, kept checking, kept peeping to see how things are going at our end throughout the flight. I noticed it. So the passenger by my side, as we're approaching landing, we're like, God help us, so let's get out of this plane before anything happened. And we were saying it in jest, but we also knew that something was off. We're so worried that I discussed with him. I said, okay, when they were telling us to stow away and put everything ready for landing, the lady didn't even hear any of that. I told her, I said, we're landing, is switch off your phone, put it away. Then the second air hostess, the first air hostess, the very polite and amiable and professional one came, helped her to stow away, helped her take her purse, put it in the cabin on top, and was very professional. So all of that happened, and then the plane landed. Once the plane landed, the first air hostess, the professional one, came to the front and started disembarking by row. Just before it came to our turn, Ms. Emerson left and went back. And I presume she went to the toilet. I used the toilet myself, right? And I noticed that the only apartment at the back is the toilet. There isn't even an apartment, cabin crew and all of that, like regular thing. This one is just the toilet. That's the only. So that's why I presume she went to the toilet. So when it got to our turn to disembark, those of us on our road disembarked and we went out and totally forgot about the whole part until the videos and all came. So that's what happened. This is what I heard. This is what I know happened. Issue of airplane mode. That didn't come up, at least I didn't.
So, Mr. Ogebe, first of all, if I heard you correctly, you said Ms. Emerson said she couldn't read. She was even asking that general be spelt.
Oh, yes. That is what happened. So whether she meant that she couldn't see properly or she couldn't read as in wasn't literate, I don't know. But that's what she said. And the second L started spelling. Okay, G, okay, E. That's what happened.
Okay, but because in subsequent interactions, she didn't sound like somebody who wasn't educated. So I just wanted to put that out, for a clarity, if we can get clarity from that. But talk to us about, you're a lawyer. I don't know if aviation law is your specialty, but talk to us about the appropriateness of the handling of the situation, how it could have been done properly without it resulting in the altercation between Ms. Emerson and the IbomAir staff. How should they have handled it if they were going to read her the implications of what had happened and how it could have been better managed, so to speak? Because other aspects to this conversation are to the effect that even in international flights, once phones are either switched off or put on flight mode during takeoff
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad that there's someone in that plane sitting, quite close to this lady, to Miss Comfort Emerson, for them to be able to hear everything. And that person also happens to be a lawyer. So lawyers are very detailed. They know what it is, when it comes to evidence and everything, and they pay attention. They hear all of this. So you can see him, the way he explained all the things, that went on. And you could literally see that they deliberately, provoked her. Probably when everybody had left was when they attacked her. All that she used this thing to fight. I mean, if you're doing self-defense, you're going to use everything within your power to be able to fight for your life. Because as far as I'm concerned, that lady was literally fighting for her life. Because the moment she had gone and then she come back, everybody is gone and you're preventing me from going. If you look at that place where the lady had come to the front, where the air hostess, stopped at that door, the second air hostess said I was said to be extremely hostile. I will deal with you. It's just power, show of power, because the law has given her the right for them to do, this thing. When she stood there, Mrs. Comfort Emerson was no longer with her wig. That means an altercation had taken place inside. When she was not hitting the woman and say, "Move, let me go." Oh, and the other woman was shouting, "Oh, you see, she's hitting me. She's the one hitting me." That means there was already altercation, because her wig wasn't on. Probably her wig had been yacked off her head. You could see, there was a bit of a scuffle that had gone on. And this was this woman trying to leave. If this woman tried to leave and then you're bringing in people just to say you will show her, if you say at the beginning that, okay, she didn't put off her phone and you're not why are you flying in the first place? Why, before they even fly, they should have called security to take her out. That's how it is. If somebody is doing something that is unruly, but because she feels she has this authority and she could misuse of power. And you've seen a lot of people have also come out to comment on that same woman's attitude and behavior. And I can tell you, there are some air hostesses that are terrible, as in terrible. The way they talk, they're condescending, the way they talk to you, the way they refer to you, the way they do this thing to you, it's unbelievable. I remember when I was flying with my daughter, local flight, I can't remember where we were going to, whether Lagos or something, and then the way she asked, first of all, when they see you in the hijab, they first of all are looking at you as if you can't even speak English. So she was asking a question. So I was asking my daughter, what would she take? I think whether they asked, I can't remember, whether something of that nature. If you see her, the way she was talking, the way she was doing this thing, I just saw her, I just left it. Because for me, you understand, I've explained in several videos, one of the things that I've lost is my voice for myself. Certain things that people would do before, you can't even try it with me. Now I can't do, because if I fight, who will I say Aisha Isufu is fighting who? Me, I go fight president. I go fight those people where they talk, say they are untouchable. Now those ones, it's best anybody below you, just leave the person for the man. I just saw her, I don't want. I think that one became remorseful. And at the end of the day, when the flight ended, she came, she gave me a 2-pack master, sorry, she was apologizing and everything. I was like, no, it's okay. She was just happy that she's really sorry. I ended up collecting it. Sometimes you meet amazing air hostesses, like that man was saying about the first one that came, in such, that is really ready to serve. Some is as if they are doing you a favor. And I'm sure this unruly air hostess, she happened to be one of those that we do as if they are doing you a favor. In terms of phone, I think the first few times I had iPhone, honestly, I couldn't even off my phone. You'll be late, or how do you off it? Especially if you have been using the other one, Android, they call it, and you want to use, I've always been using Samsung. And then when I go to my first, when I had my iPhone, I couldn't. I got my first iPhone that my husband bought for me a long time ago, but iPhone was difficult for me, so I just left it. My kids will make fun of me. When I finally decided, why I even got an iPhone was even a friend gifted me this, Apple Watch. So adding it, I had to add it to my husband's this thing to be using and everything. So that was even the reason why I ended up buying an iPhone. I bought an iPhone, I bought a iPad, and then I bought MacBook. I'm literally, the other time one of my friends can say, when did you turn Apple, whatever. But so sometimes you can't off it. There have been times that I couldn't off it. I just drop it in my back, and she was saying she can. Why don't you just help her? Why are you so condescending? And I'm sure this one, she was so infuriated, she was so angry. That was why she was mumbling all throughout. And there are people who have short fuse, and I've seen people who have gone to her timeline and said that she even wrote it there on her bio that she's quiet, but she has a very short fuse. She doesn't, sort of something like that. She doesn't tolerate this. She can blow hot and stuff like that. We actually saw, because she was really angry, but you could see the provocation. Okay, when this thing passed, this matter would have ended. This woman, they now helped her, she now off it, they now do this thing. Why? When the plane stop, let her go. No. You want to prove to the world that you have power anyway. Share the IbomAir, all of you now. They feel the heat, and I'm so happy the way Nigerians rallied around this lady. And you see, literally only few people with their usual whatever. It's not even many, very negligent few. For me, it's such a happy thing, because when something happens to one, we must take. I saw some people who were bringing our pictures from Instagram and all of that. That, oh, she shows her body. It's her body. If she wanted to open her breast by herself, it's her breast. The way where you cover your own, when me cover my own from head to toe like this, so is the right that she has to open her own. So all those judgmental people sitting that sanctimonious throne, they feel say, now there holy pass, keep on to yourself. Let her do. If she was the one that opened her breast herself, what's the business? No. But for your Ella to come and tear her dress and humiliate her in that manner, no. IbomAir is supposed to pay for that.